Welcome back, everyone. Hell yeah. Yeah. Man, I thank you guys for continuing to listen to us in this podcast, man. I appreciate it a lot. I want to jump right into these money makers. Texas Performance MC. Got to thank Mark. He's also my companion, if that's the right word to say, on this podcast. We talk a lot of cool stuff just talking about what's going on between each one of us. And we kind of talk about our camping trip that was coming up in September. We just kind of talked about some shit. We hadn't seen Mark in a while, a couple weeks. He's a close friend of mine, so it was good stopping through the shop. We just delivered a set of tins that we painted for him for this chopper he's putting back together. So it was just good stopping through Texas Performance MC up in Cedar Park, Texas. You're like, I did that right. It was just good times hanging out with him, so I hope you enjoy this podcast with him. Don't forget to check him out in general on Instagram at Texas Performance MC, on his website, which I've never actually been to. I need to go to that, Mark. My bad. I need to check it out and see what the hell you got on there. Better be a picture of me on there. I don't know. His shop is a full-service dyno tuning and performance shop. That pretty much speaks for itself. We kind of talked in this podcast about how I think that he is one of the few. There are others, but he's one of the few shops here in Texas that I feel like really focus on performance the performance end of the Harley market here in Texas. So anyway, check him out as always. Also, don't forget about my dude Paint Huffer Metal Flake, Brian out there, painthuffer.com. Check him out on Instagram as well. Paint Huffer on IG. That is not right. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on IG. Sorry. I thought I was getting good at this, so I thought I could rattle it off my brain, but I still got to use notes. It's kind of weird, but yeah, check him out as always. He's always got some rad painters on there, and I'm just fortunate to be part of that vast team that he has of really talented individuals that put out a lot of amazing work. So you can check out all these guys at Paint Huffer Metal Flake on IG. And if you want to get down with some of the best flake and some of the best products in the industry, check out his website, painthuffer.com. And if you're in Phoenix or Arizona, or depending on how far you want to drive and see him, go check him out. He's in Phoenix, which I'm sure you can find his address on his website. I also want to thank Horsepower Inc. Check those guys out. If you're not following them on Instagram, you're not seeing this fucking badass place they're moving into. I'm just so jealous. It's so nice. Like, I was so jealous of their last shop, and now they're just upgrading like a motherfucker, man. So I'm glad to see these guys grow and do more big things. Follow those guys on Horsepower Inc. on Instagram, Horsepower Inc. Indy on Facebook. And if you want to get down with some of the products that they're pushing, horsepowerinc.net. They're known for their big bore throttle bodies, air cleaners, fuel injectors, and they're also dropping some exhaust systems real soon. So I'm really stoked to see how they all look, how they perform, and how badass they just are, right? Up in Indianapolis area, dyno tuning performance for V-twin motorcycles. Check them out, horsepowerinc.net. I also want to thank Hard Drive, American V-twin products, hdtwin.com. I hope all you lucky mofos that went to Sturgis went and checked out the Hard Drive booth up there. I hope you met Zombie Mike. I hope you met some of these guys. And I hope you said you heard about them on our podcast, man. That would really mean a lot to me. That way they know this kind of works a little bit. Anyway, hdtwin.com. If you're a shop and you want to get set up as a dealer, check these guys out on that. They have a link to the dealer application. And to my knowledge, there is no buy-in. But that's good. I would probably buy some shit to put on your shelves and stuff. But if your local shop does not have Hard Drive, maybe you should kind of push them that way. Maybe your shop's a little older. They ain't hip to the game. They don't know what's going on. So be the leader to the light for these guys. hdtwin.com, Hard Drive Parts on Instagram. Check those guys out. Yeah, I was this podcast, man. It's just me and Mark. We just kind of was hanging out. Nothing real fantastic to talk about. Just shooting the shit, man. We really did, and we kind of talked a little bit about some plans coming up, some past things, some current things. It's just rambling is really what it is. But yeah, I drove down to Simpson to do a podcast and do a little bit of business with them guys down there in New Braunfels, Texas. And I stopped up in Mark's shop, and we had dinner, shot the shit. I think I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, we just had a good time, man. So I hope you check this out. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, The Fast Life Garage, as well as our YouTube page. If you could go to our website, fastlifegarage.com, you can get a link to our YouTube, our Patreon, and all that stuff. And to all you guys who have been donating to our Patreon, I thank you so much, man. I literally went to... I've been doing a lot of research, man. I guess I would plug it here. I've been doing a lot of research, so I have a lot of big plans for next year, and I really don't want to spoil it by talking about it, and then I kind of ruin it from happening for me, but really want to move forward with a lot of things that I've kind of been throwing in some of these podcasts and talking about. But right now I'm in a research phase of trying to find the best way to give you the best high-quality content that I'm planning on bringing to you, and finding a way that some of the video stuff that we want to bring or that we're going to have to invest in, because this shit is so expensive, invest in to bring you like live and video podcasts with more informative stuff so that you can kind of watch them on YouTube, and kind of like what Joe Rogan does and a lot of other, more famous podcasts and whatnot. But also because we want to implement doing some how-tos into our YouTube page to where you'll be able to see from multiple angles, just kind of hopefully well-produced videos of how to do certain things, or maybe even just walkthroughs of custom paint jobs that I'll be doing on helmets and small tanks and stuff like that. So really gearing up to bring you guys a lot of actual media next year. So, everything you've done on Patreon and everything you continue to do is going to just make that a reality. And not that I want to talk shit about anybody, but no matter how much money we ever make in our business, man, you can know that my money is going to be spent, or the money's going to be spent on me doing motorcycle shit, traveling, riding bikes, bringing you more content. You're probably never going to see me, going all out, building swimming pools and doing crazy shit like that. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just saying that's not who I am. I'm a biker. I work my ass off just like most of you guys do. And we just found another way to enjoy doing that same thing, but also connecting to all you guys. So anyway, I'm not going to ramble anymore, and I'm not going to talk myself into a shit show with some other people. So hope you enjoy this podcast with my good friend, Mark Matthews.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
I like that new feature now they got on the deal where you can just share when someone tags you in something, you can just reshare it.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. What's up, dude?
Are we recording?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Nada, man.
Long time no see, feels like.
When's the last time we hung out?
God. Tony's?
No, you came up to Dallas since then, haven't you?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
No, I mean, I came to Dallas, but I just went up and hung out with Eric over
That's
in
right.
Fort Worth. I saw FXR Mike. But...
No, we hung out 3 weeks ago at the pool.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you came down here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So what's been up, man? How's things going at the shop?
Dude, we're busy. We're super busy right now, which is good. I've talked to a lot of other shops around the area, and I guess everybody else is struggling for work, but they all have multiple techs, service riders, or 3 or 4 people at least. So one-man shop, they got a lot. I mean, I got 15 bikes in there right now to get worked on. I think I got 14 now, but
that's a good thing. So at least it keeps you busy and stuff like that. And
yeah, it's got its good sides and bad sides. It's good to stay busy, but it can be stressful. Mm-hmm. And then someone will come in with a job that's like a very profitable job, but I got to tell them, oh man, I can't touch it for 2 weeks because I got all these other dudes' bikes in the way. So that's the downside. It's a scary feeling, man, but that's the nature of when you're doing things by yourself, when you're a one-man show, Mm-hmm. It is, and it's it's amazing to me that people are still bringing their bikes in, because like every probably fifth or sixth person that calls or comes in is like, nah, I'll wait a couple of weeks. But all the 5 people after them will be like, oh no, I'll bring it in and drop it off. Like, you know, so, and then they call back 2 weeks later, like, hey, are you caught up yet? And I'm like, nah, man, more people have dropped their shit off. So
yeah, it's
we're
like
still 2 weeks out.
You gotta get on the list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because we don't do appointments. For anybody that doesn't know how we operate, we don't do appointments. I've been screwed at other shops with doing appointments and people not showing up. Just not any fault of their own, but life happens. People get sick, shit breaks, your car doesn't start, you lose a ride, kid gets sick, whatever, you know. And so I set up my business. It's first come, first serve. So you want your bike to get worked on, you drop it off and you leave it in line, you know. And then when it comes to the top of the queue, then your bike gets worked on. So. Yeah,
it's gotta suck for people that are like impatient and want to ride a lot. But you know, sometimes it's maintenance that needs to be addressed anyway. So you know,
and like smaller stuff I can try and work in, you know, a little bit sooner. Like if I got a lot of big jobs and I got like maybe an hour or something where like I called someone and I'm waiting for approval or for a deposit or something like that, I can throw a quick diag in there, or a quick service or tires or something, and get those done a little bit quicker. But
it seems it's gotta suck to kind of juggle all the stuff. Same thing for us. Like you think about, like, you know, we have a long-term project, you think, oh, we can throw a fender in there, here and there. And sometimes we can, but then sometimes it's like... Yeah,
I don't make promises. I tell people it's a possibility that it can get done sooner, but I'm not promising that your bike will hit a lift for at least 2 weeks. You know, and there's a slight chance it'll happen before. Yeah. But for sure it'll happen in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was... it's, I don't know, man. It's been crazy, but... It's this whole year has been strange, man. Just like... You know, I guess last year for us at least, we spent so much time on the road. That like coming to this year, it's like, fuck, we're gonna go times 10 this year, and then it's like it's been divided by 10 basically is what it felt like, you know. We've only, like, trip wise, we've only made, you know, Giddy Up. I guess we did do Daytona, even though I don't like to give that thing any credit.
I think that Daytona, from what I've heard from everybody that went, Daytona can be cool, but I think you guys went about it the Weekend Warrior way, and not the way that could make it cool. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you make that cool. It's like,
from what I heard, there's a lot of like how that, you know, they had that performance dyna.
That part was fun.
But I heard that there's a lot of stuff like that in Daytona that's just not advertised. It's not on Main Street in Daytona.
We saw all those East Coasting guys down there, but they were kind of like in. Let me put it like this. We saw the East Coasting guys down there, and everywhere they went, they were fucking riding wheelies and. Doing that. And I mean, that shit is dope, but you know, I'm a little older and I ain't trying to ride in that group and be the one that gets pulled over because they're doing the fucked up shit, and I'm like, you know, got a responsible business that I got to attend to and stuff like that. So no, we saw all those dudes down there, and there was parts that were cool, but you know, like the cops, man, like there's nothing you can do about that. Those cops were fucking hot down
that was
there,
the one thing that everybody that's been has said it, because I personally have never been. But everybody said that you can tell, like, the city doesn't want you there. Yeah. It's not like some of these other rallies or the other events where everybody's excited to get the business to come into the town because they make their yearly nut off that 1 or 2 weeks. Whereas Daytona's like, F you, you know what I mean? Like, we don't want you guys here. You're just causing shit. I think they just need to move it.
They need to move it somewhere else in Florida that's not as busy and not as big. It's like, it's been going on for 75, 76, 77 years or whatever the fuck, but... The shit's over.
Yeah, well, I mean, back then when they started it, Daytona probably wasn't shit. It was probably like a small little town.
They didn't even have a Walmart probably then.
Yeah, but now it's huge, bigger at least.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to just, you know, next year. I mean, this year kind of just got fucked, you know. But you know, I did get to see Indiana. Never been there. You know. I took a cool. I mean, I put it like this. I spent a lot of time this year with my family. I did a lot more shit with my wife. I took
and that's
my kids
important.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I needed to do that this year and spend more time with them. And next year I could probably go hard again on the trips and the riding and stuff. And I plan on it.
Yeah. Well, next year your kid's going to be 18 too, so she'll probably be off of college somewhere. And,
yeah, for sure.
You know.
But you know, I don't know, man. It's all good. But fuck, it's just kind of like you had like so much momentum coming off that 17. You know. putting 30,000 miles down and going all over the place and doing all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then
Sometimes work doesn't dictate that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you gotta kind of work with the flow, and if you're getting enough work to where
I
you're
think the
constantly
deal
busy.
was that I didn't have as much work last year and I had more free time.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's
You know?
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee it based on how long it's been since you've taken in a new job.
Yeah.
You know, like you didn't do that last year at all. You never
I
were
was
like, you were never
hurting.
like, no, I'm not taking any work in until this point, you know,
Mm-hmm.
until I get all this stuff caught up. You were like, no, you need some work. Yeah, we'll get it done.
Yeah,
you know?
it's been a crazy thing, man. But I don't know, man. Like this year with this podcast and stuff is kind of like opened, you know, the doors to a lot of things. So the trips weren't so much about, you know,
The trip. It
was more like, man, I need to. I'm
to do
going
this. Yeah.
there. I should be doing a podcast too. So now I got to pack all that stuff and all that mess. So it's just, I don't know. It's different, but it's still going good. Like it's just something I didn't expect. You know what I mean?
No, it's one of those things that you just got to kind of work around.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be like that forever. It's just like, you know, grinding. You know, you're not gonna. Most people aren't fucking putting their nose to the fucking brimstone 10 years in a row, you know, like you do it for a little and then you can kind of create yourself a lag where you can do some stuff and then you got to work hard again and get a little lag. And
have you seen all the stuff with like Richard Rollins and stuff trying to open up the floodgates for the TV show shit at all?
No, I mean, I saw someone else.
Biker shit.
I saw someone else post something that I guess John Shope is trying to start a new show, but I don't follow any of those dudes. It's just.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it's all cool shit. I mean, I think it's good for the industry to have
I
more
agree.
motorcycle
Yeah.
shit, but
I 110% agree. I mean, regardless of personal feelings towards anybody, any show is good for the motorcycle industry. Even if it's not your niche or your style or your thing, doesn't matter. You know, everybody can hate on Sons of Anarchy all they want, but that shit made the motorcycle. I mean, the show hadn't been around after the recession, imagine how much worse it would have been in the motorcycle. And I mean, that shit kept motorcycles current and people wanting to spend money on them when the economy took a tank. You know,
I'm excited to see, dude. I think we're gonna have a watch party for Mayans, man. Fuck
yeah. I mean, we did when we were in Phoenix. We had watch parties for Sons of Anarchy every week. We had it was you know, probably anywhere from 10 to 20 dudes crammed into my bedroom of this house that we were renting. And I had a big TV in there, and we'd watch it. And we had drinking games we'd play. Like every time they'd say a certain word, we'd all take a shot of Jack. We'd go through like 2 handles a night of Jack. We'd get tanked and then ride to the bar around the corner. And
see, that's the shit I was talking about. Like, you talk about these stories, and I'm like, and you're smart. Like, how?
I wasn't always paying attention and being responsible. I was very irresponsible.
So you got your horse shit out early, so now you get to be the responsible.
Yeah, kind of. I guess. I mean, you can kind of look at it that way.
Yeah.
You know, I still like to have fun every once in a while, but
just on a responsible level.
Somewhat responsible.
You're like you're gonna be the designated beer guy from here on out. Just like, hey man, just or the fall guy at least. You're the last guy to leave the bar since you don't drink and stuff anymore.
Yeah, as long as I don't get tickets. The one thing that I'm not good about is I got a lot of points on my record. If I get one more ticket, I lose my license. So try to keep that shit away.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with that show shit. I mean, it's cool to see. My friend Jason, that one that has a speed metal built podcast. He was talking about how it's like, he thinks that what's going to happen is Discovery's looking at trying to get some new shows going.
I'm sure.
And so they're going to revisit all that biker shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any sort of, if it's not on the internet, on demand 24/7, they're all hurting. Yeah. TV shows, TV stations are hurting, magazines are hurting, anything that's not at your fingertips on your cell phone 24/7, free access, it's difficult right now for all of them. So
yes, I don't know. I'll see. Hopefully, I don't know, man. It's just it's hard to you try to think of what kind of shops you'd want to see or what type of.
The problem is the good shops don't have that
I would watch a Ramjet racing show. Hell, I would watch it.
Yeah, but the thing is that they don't have that fuck you, no, I'm gonna throw this, no, you know what I mean? Like a good shop doesn't have that going on in the back, and if it does happen, it's rare. It's not every day for enough every week to make an hour-long show of all the clips of people fighting and arguing and all that stuff. It's once every month or two, some dude will have blow a gasket because of something going on and throw a wrench, and then that's it. Past that, it's just day-to-day business.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the the model for the biker build off is always a good thing. Like I mentioned earlier in these podcasts how I went back and watched a lot of them over again, and it's true. Like that shit is just. Yeah. I was entertained. Like I was when I first watched it when I was a lot younger, just didn't get it all. But now having eyes of like looking at the skill level involved in some of that shit, it's cool.
Yeah.
And seeing the star power some of these dudes had back in the day, like
oh yeah,
dude, it was crazy. But you know,
yeah, no, that would be cool if they did something like that. You know, something that I would think would be awesome is to follow someone traveling around the country.
Yeah,
you know
dude,
what I mean?
that'd be fun as hell.
You know, like every week, this is like, hey, this is where we're at, and we're checking out. You know, almost like it could almost be like on a Food Network type TV station, but like on a motorcycle. You know what I mean?
And finding some cool little biker bars.
Yeah,
and
we're going through the Rockies this week, and we're checking out this bar and this you know, food place, and we're hitting these roads, and this is the route we're taking, and you know, log onto the website and you can follow the route when you're in town.
Well, did you ever watch that shit with Norman Reedus? That ride with Norman Reedus?
Dude,
I need to watch.
I don't have I mean, I have Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have cable. I don't have satellite. I have Netflix. And
yeah,
Amazon
me too.
Prime,
I'm the same way. But no, I think that's similar. He went to a certain town, and
it could be. But the thing, like, he may be into bikes a lot,
yeah,
but
I think he is hardcore. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he is, from what it sounds like. But he's not like someone in like The only reason I knew him up until someone mentioned that show, which I had never even heard of, was from The Walking Dead. Yeah. And he rode a bike on the show. And I'm like, at first I was like, so what? The guy rides a fucking bike in the show and you're going to give him a motorcycle show? And then someone was like, no, I think he's really into bikes. But I'd never...
Yeah, I guess he's good with like Power Plant and all those dudes out in L.A. And
yeah, I mean, and I'm sure. Crazy. Yeah, I'm sure he is. And but it's like I just never heard of him. I never seen him at events. I never anything, you know. And so it's like, as from a TV standpoint, they want someone famous like that. But it'd be cool from an industry standpoint to see like an industry person to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like someone that's more along the lines of your average dude, because that dude can go somewhere and, you know, everybody after that show, everybody knows who he is. Yeah. You know, and so he's star famous, whatever. It'd be cool to just get someone else's perspective that is completely different, looking at it from a different way.
I mean, if you look at what like the TV show shit did to the people that stayed in the show, the motorcycle show Spotlight. I mean, you look at what the American Chopper dudes, they just kind of had like 10 years with who knew if they were alive. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like now they're back and that's cool and stuff, but like I think most people they would jump at the idea of being on TV and then like the day after, like, oh man, like I don't know, man, is this going to be good for me?
Well, like I couldn't do a TV show. There's no way, because you know I've talked to some people that did some things on like some of those shows and like it's all fake and scripted. We all know that, but like even to the point of what they're working on and like they're like, oh no, we're going to need you to undo all that work that you've already done or wait until we get there to do all this stuff. And it's like, listen, dude, like I'm running a shop at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I could do it. And you know, having a producer tell me, okay, we need you to do that again, but look at the camera grimacingly and say "fuck you" or something, and you know what I mean? Like, nah, dude. You want me? Then this is it, and I'm gonna work on my schedule. And if you guys want to film, cool. But I'm not gonna, you know.
I like the premise of what you said about doing the follow along, the travel stuff. Man, I don't know. Maybe I feel like I'm beating down a path that a lot of people don't know about, but when I talk to a lot of people from the corporate things that I talk to, the people I talk in the corporate world of, you know, whether it's Harley or, you know, helmet places and Hard Drive and all these other people I try to talk to, it's like, man, I'm like, dude, you guys, I mean, not to say anything about these stunners out there, you guys are rocking, but I feel like there's a big tapped market of people traveling on Harleys that nobody's looking at, that nobody's care. And I feel like some of these dudes out there rocking miles on Harleys they have more followers than fucking some dude doing a wheelie that has to put his shit in the back of a truck everywhere he goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to glamorize that as easily, you know? Like, even people that aren't into Harleys, they'll see a bagger doing a wheelie down the street or drifting through an intersection, and they can get pumped on it. You know, if you're not into Harleys, watching some dude on a GoPro smash through some canyons or whatever, or getting some drone footage of him through some super scenic area, it's not as cool to you, you know, to everyone. And when you're producing shows like that, you can't just appeal just to motor. Like, you have to make it appeal to everybody, to the entire
would make
mass.
sense if like Unknown had a TV show. I mean, just because of like their star power that they have. With
I mean, that one, I could see that one definitely working. And they're a good type of famous where they're extremely famous in the motorcycle world.
Yeah,
but they're not. But they're not
everything.
so famous to where like they're gonna get stopped on every corner by every dude trying to get like if you try to do a show with like Jesse or you know anybody else like that dude's gonna get stopped everywhere he goes, and so it's gonna affect the shooting of the show. And people will be nice to you just because you're famous, and you won't get the real feel for the town. Because like when we went through a couple of those towns in Arkansas, like people, we definitely didn't feel 100% well. Like everybody was nice to our face, but we could tell like they were not like thrilled. Oh, there's 50 dudes on FXRs and they're all swearing and have tattoos and loud. And
I sent you the video of whenever I went to look at that bike up there. Whenever y'all were down at Tony's. Yeah. I don't know if we talked about it on that podcast, the last podcast we did together, but dude, I was literally scared. Yeah. Going on that back, on those fucking mountains and shit, and going that far off the beaten path with $4,000 cash in my pocket. Like, no good. I was just like, kind of like, fuck, dude, like, is this it? Yeah. No service, 5-10 miles off the fucking road. It's like, damn, man.
Yeah, and 5-10 miles doesn't sound like a lot until you're only going 10 miles an hour because it's a dirt road, and then it takes you almost an hour to go that 5-10 miles, and then you're like, oh, wow, this is not easy to get away from. I can't do 60 miles an hour away from here and get out of here real quick.
He knows the road. I'll fucking fall, like, haul ass off into a ditch or some shit.
Stuff pulling
dude,
on there.
It was sketchy, man, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I need to do something this year. The camp out thing should be good. I'll probably end up doing like a Lone Star Rally this year. I think I missed it last year. Definitely not going back to SEMA. It's not my scene. It's not my crowd. And I think I'm gonna try to go to the AIM Expo too. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the things I want to try to go to. Yeah. After talking with Scott today and all the stuff with Simpson and everything, so I think I'm gonna try to make that happen. But
I've got a buddy that's going. I'm not opposed to it. I would like to go to the Hot Bike Tour just because it's in Phoenix. I got a lot of friends in Phoenix. That's where I was for almost a decade until I moved back to Texas. And so it'd be cool to go, back and see some of my friends, hit some of those roads on some bikes I have now versus the bikes I had back then, and go do some actual riding,
What do you think you're going to try to do next year as far as, like, you going to try to do any road trips, or are you just going to try to...
I want to do trips every year.
Seems like you got the bug this year, though.
Like, well, I just forced myself this year. Like, I'm feeling it still from those 2 trips I took to Arkansas. Yeah. I'm still feeling the effects of that because it's not just the cost of the trip at that point. It's the loss of income. Yeah. Because, I don't get paid vacation, what I mean? And then I still have to pay bills and rent and all those things, and I don't know, it's I want to do more. I want to go more places, but it all just depends on workflow. If I can build up a decent little like ride fund, which I think is what I'm going to try and start, is every month put a certain amount in a separate account to go on a ride and pay for the bills while I'm on the ride,
Well, that's why we're setting up the way we're setting up this camp out is just being a 2-day deal and within reach, like even if you blasted up to Dallas Thursday night and then roll with us Saturday or Friday morning, it's like you're missing a day or 2 of work or whatever.
And see, like on a week like that, like I'd probably work the Monday before, so there'd be one less day that I'd miss, and I'd probably work the Monday after to try and make up those days. But that's my plan right now is I am going to blast out of here that Thursday night.
Yeah, we're going to have like 2 groups, or like, I don't know how many people are coming. It seems like a lot of people are trying to come. We've had a big buzz about it, but like that Talamina Highway, obviously 70 people or 50 people ain't going to be able to ride out and go hit that at the same time.
Yeah, dude, that was the sickest shit about that FXR jam that we went to. Was when we all rode out that, the first day was like, everybody kind of did their own thing, like, me and Joe and Chris and Jay and Mike and Gary, like, we didn't go anywhere all day. Like, we went into town. We went to Walmart. We went to the thrift store. We tried to find a bar, but there's no bars in the town. Everybody else went and did some riding. But the second day, the entire group, we all went, for the most part, except for a couple of guys that were like working on their bikes. We all went on the ride, and it was I mean, you look at some of the pictures and videos from when we all stopped in, I think it was Jasper for lunch. I mean, all the way through the main section of town, both sides of the road.
Is that where y'all took the big ass picture of all the bikes?
No, that was at the actual hotel that we stayed at.
Okay.
But or the motel. But yeah, in Jasper, I mean, both sides of the road, all in front of the courthouse and all in front of the restaurant we stopped at, were full of FXRs. I mean, there was easily 30 bikes, 35, 40
dude,
bikes.
I'm really, like, that Dyna I got, last time we did a podcast is the day I picked up that Dyna. We did all the work to it. We put a lot of the leftover parts I had laying around. And it's fun to ride, man. But
yeah.
I miss my FXR so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is more. I mean, this Dyna's still a little flashy. It ain't FXR flashy, but that FXR just felt like something different, man. It felt like I was in a different world when I was on that bike. So I'm pumped because I'm getting another full fairing FXR.
Yeah.
Or I hate saying I'm getting it because I don't have it yet, and I'm not going next week to get it, but I'm getting it. You know what I mean? But damn, man, I'm pumped, man. And I really just want to. As soon as I get that FXR, this Dyna's for sale. I'm sitting on the money. I'm trying to travel with it next year. Might maybe do that chopper I want to do. I don't know. I'm really like up in the air if I even want to fuck with that right now because I was supposed to be practicing welding all year and I've not done that. I've been doing podcasts all fucking year. Like
I think podcasts are cooler than welding right now.
Yeah, just I feel like when I weld, I'm like legit. You know what I mean? Like I'm a legit bike builder.
Dude, I mean, everybody asks like, what do you do at your shop? I said anything that has to do with a Harley except fabrication and paint. Like, doesn't pay. Like I can't. It's not that I can't fabricate something, but I don't do it enough to be proficient at it. So it'll take me
a lot of
8 hours to fucking make your exhaust bracket. And then if I try to charge you $800 for your exhaust bracket, you're like, well, I didn't even pay that much for the exhaust. Well, I got 8 hours into building the bracket, and you said you were willing to pay time and material. So,
Yeah, it's kind of a lost cause, but it's more of a, for me, it's just more of a, like, that satisfaction of building something, having a vision and making it come to life. So
yeah, I mean, my goal next year is to pick up a TIG, but I have to get a bigger space before I can do that. Like I'm full to the brim, man. You saw pushing the bikes in. Like if there was one more bike, it wasn't fitting in there today.
Yeah.
Like I had to leave my 2 bikes outside the other day because I had so many customer bikes in there. My bike sat outside, and then it was the one night that it rained too. So I come in the next day and my bike got rained on outside. I was a little bummed about that, but it is what it is. Customer bikes didn't sit outside, so it's good.
So what's been going on down here in Austin? It seems kind of like it's been dead down here the last couple of months.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff going on down south, man, but
up here on the north side,
dude, I'm a north side hermit. Like, I hate going down south. Like, I love going to anything that that they're doing down south, but the problem is the traffic. It takes almost as long. If I leave my shop at 6, it takes almost as long for me to get to Cowboy Harley Davidson as it does to get to your shop. Like it's almost the same amount of time, like maybe 20 minutes longer to get to your shop than it does to Cowboy Harley Davidson. So it's, I'm more tempted on, if I got a Tuesday night free, I try and blast up to Dallas if I can instead of go down to Austin, and at least if I go to Dallas, I don't know.
You know all of us a lot better.
Yeah,
you're closer with us.
and you guys hang out. We all hang out at like.
Last time you came, I was like tired, dude. I ended up dipping early that night or some shit. That was the week I was selling the bagger. I think is when you came.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, that one night was cool because my little brother came out because he lives up there. But yeah, I mean, going down, I'm just Austin and me. Just like we're not cool. You know what I mean? Like we don't. It's like I love it. It's cool. Keep it weird, but I don't want to. I don't want to fucking go down there. Like, traffic sucks. Parking sucks.
Yeah, it's different, man. Like I guess, not to hate on Austin or anything. I love it.
No, it's
here,
not.
But,
it's great.
I guess I'm like all dude. I would go like years without coming down here, and then between last year when we started hanging out, I probably made 40 trips last year.
Yeah.
And then this year I definitely made at least 20.
Yeah.
So it just gets to the point where you're like, fuck, man, like you just know everything on the side of the highway on that trip down 35, and
well, and the stretch
I wrecked
between
my van coming to see you last time. That's where the van wreck took place.
Yeah, and the stretch between Dallas and Austin's like not exciting
at all.
Like
that's why I was like,
straight.
My wife is like, she's like, fuck with me now because I had 2 wrecks this year basically. And so every time I'm driving and I look at my phone for anything, or I look at the radio, or watch the road, and I'm like, dude, I've made this trip down to Austin so many times. I was literally just zombieing down here. I'm paying attention. I'm not looking at anything. I'm just looking ahead, but maybe not, exactly seeing what the fuck's going on, But it's just fucked, man. It sucks so bad.
It gets that way. But, yeah, I mean, we're going to try and do some more stuff. There's a lot. I mean, I would like to go to Sturgis at some point. Still haven't been. And not to be at the Sturgis rally. It's more to, see all the other people that I know that are going to Sturgis rally, not necessarily because of, the whatever biker bar that the band is playing at, or whatever.
Yeah, that's just not fun, and it costs a lot of money. It is fun just to go. There's so much shit you can do where you don't have to be involved in any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Tony went, and he was trying to convince me to go. He's like, come on, dude, we're gonna go hang out at the Legends facility or whatever. They got a nice spot.
And that stuff looks so dope. I was watching all those dudes from the East Coast and the West Coast coming. They're all chilling at the Legends facility, and I was like, man, that'd be so cool to be there.
All through the hills and shit. Yeah.
But it's just, it doesn't work out that way sometimes. I ain't balling out of control, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's weird. If you do what you said about setting up a fund, you can make it.
That's just what I have to do. I have to plan ahead. I just don't have the immediate cash flow to be like, oh yeah, cool, I can afford a $8,000 trip to Sturgis, because
I think that costs nothing like that.
Well, it's not just that though. It's I still got to pay all the bills and then the loss of income. Yeah. Because I count that as an expense. So if I worked all week, there's a certain amount that I make a week, and now I lost that. Plus I still had to pay all the bills at the house and the shop and everything else, and
we gotta look at maybe the big, if you can set aside the bigger labor intense jobs, and make almost not count those towards the other shit, and maybe just put that in, like you said, in its own little fund. And because realistically, every time we go to Sturgis, we're there for a week and we ride there, so we don't have to spend as much money in gas.
The money coming out of my pocket is not $8,000.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm saying. But it's just the overall cost of the trip.
I think last year we spent I spent $1,000.
Yeah,
and that's including the campsite and the gas there and back.
Yeah,
I think the real thing to get your ass at Sturgis is if you do a hotel or a cabin, unless you do a whole bunch of you and your homies go in on the cabin, or. When you start going to those concerts Full Throttle, and you go in there, or Buffalo Chip, and you're paying $75 to get in, and you're drinking their beer, it's no, dude, that's where you'll get fucked.
I got off on half of that because I don't drink, but I don't care to see a band. Bands are cool, but it's just I'm rather go ride.
Yeah, I was I'm not.
And plus,
going
then
if
everybody's there,
yeah.
Nobody's on the road. I can go ride at night and it's empty road.
Yeah, but they got a lot of fucking animals out there.
It's okay. You saw the front of the road glide. It's like a spaceship going out. It's daylight outside.
There's so much deer up there. It's so crazy because they don't have a lot of cars up there all the time.
Well, yeah, and the deer, they don't know what's going on, so they're not used to seeing cars, so they freak out. Yeah, I know. It's
different, but I was bummed, man. I was a little depressed all last week and this week. Just not making it, but. I'll be there next year. I think I was more bummed just because I missed 5 in a row. You know what I mean? So it's damn, I got to start back over. Yeah. So, but no, I'll go next year for sure. I mean, my wife wants to go back. She hadn't been in 2 years, so.
Yeah, I want to go. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a good time. Maybe we'll actually go on a trip together. Last time we went on a trip together was the first time we met each other.
Yeah. We haven't done it since.
No.
It's we fucked on the first date, and now we're just dating. Now we're just friends.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that kind of gay?
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, we haven't done any trip together. We did Giddy Up.
Well, you started your shop right afterwards, and then
I got super busy.
Got stuck here, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's fun. I don't know what I want to do.
We're gonna try and go to this hot bike tour, but. Can't get anybody from Hot Bike to send a message back to figure out what's going on.
Dude, screw those guys.
I finally clicked on their website and saw that they posted something, but it's not on their social media. You know what I mean? There's nothing that says, "Hey, dude, we're doing the Hot Bike tour. Here are the dates. Here's the get on the website and check for hotel reservations." None of that. It's now up on their website, but
I don't really want to say anything. I guess I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna completely contradict myself. I don't want to say anything bad about it. But I think they just don't need to do it. they anybody involved got no exposure. So you're building a bike or you're doing whatever to help promote this event. You're getting nothing out of it. You know, you're going to go on a ride. You're getting no exposure. It's almost like they barely have anything to offer anymore.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't do it for the exposure. Like I said, if I went, it would be basically to go see all the shops that I used to work at and guys I know that worked in shops in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're all going. I haven't reached out to any of them, so I have no clue if they're actually attending this thing or not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why?
I'm hoping they are. You know, and then we can all go ride together. You know, that's
fun, but
thing.
you know, like I said, all the trips I do, it has to help my business.
Yeah, but see, your business and mine are completely different.
Yeah.
Like, I can do a trip and use that as a promotion, but like no one from Arizona is going to send me their bike to work on. You know what I mean?
Well, you just got to start.
There's shops in Arizona.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But you got to look at the bigger. That's what I mean. I know that you do service work and stuff like that, but you know, I don't know, man. I just keep going, like keep on doing what you're doing, and just be open to the possibility that things like that could happen.
Oh, I'm not against them, but I'm also realistic.
I never would have thought in my life that only one of the 15 or 20 projects I got in my shop is actually from Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that 10 years ago, you'd ask me that. I'm like, dude, I'd be happy if I got something from outside of Dallas County.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you know, it's not, my business doesn't come from here, but you know, same thing if like, you know, I know you don't really want to go do full builds and stuff, but I mean,
well, it's not that I don't want to. It's just that like that's, you know, I don't know if OCD is the right word, but like I'm very meticulous about things. And, you know, some people can charge a lot for their work and their clientele can pay for it. I just don't feel like my clientele is there yet. So I end up doing a lot of stuff and not making as much money. So like I make way better profit and pay my bills way better off doing like tires and services and shift shaft seal leaks and chain drives and stuff like that. But like full custom builds, I'm like so meticulous on everything. People are like, why is it so much? I was like, well, dude, it took me 5 hours to wire all this stuff in. Yeah. Like, oh, well, it's only this many wires. I'm like, yeah, but I also routed it 4 times to find the perfect way to get through and hide it all. And then I had to figure out where the connector could fit, and I couldn't fit where I did it the first time, so I had to resolder wiring in to shift where the connect. You know what I mean? Like, just dumb stuff that a lot of people would just slap it together and be like, it's okay, but I just can't do it that way. I don't like it. So.
There's that, you know, but like I said, eventually, I don't know. I mean, of course, you've been doing the bike stuff for a while, but I would just imagine, if I was in your shoes, let's just put it that way, eventually I would get, you know, I would want to put my, like, do my, like, give my take of that, you know what I mean, of building a bike and putting it out there, and then maybe even getting that work in. And there is money to be made in there, but it's the argument of the guy for the paint side of it. It's the argument of the collision center and the restoration shop.
Yeah.
All right, restoration shop has big dollar numbers, but it's very time consuming. And the difference between you being a quality builder or not is, like you just said, the meticulousness of how you do your job.
Yeah.
But if you structure your business correctly and you're on top of things and you're on top of your customers as far as like saying, hey, look, you know, on this type of build, you know, you're gonna have to put parts down first, and then at X amount of time into it, you're gonna have to put some type of money in here, and then a final, you know what I mean, to keep things flowing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people will do it and they'll take like half down on everything. So then, you know, and then sometimes they'll get that $20,000 check and then they'll go fuck it off real quick.
Yeah.
And then like, oh shit, now this other job that was supposed to come through didn't come through, and I just thought I'd use all the profits. I'd roll the profits into this job, and then I use that job for all the you know, all the you know what I mean. So it's just bad. What's the word?
Planning.
Essentially, basically, yeah. That's how a lot of shops get fucked. I mean, they're fucked themselves, basically. I don't want to say they got fucked. Yeah. They fucked somebody, and they fucked themselves.
Yeah, usually they end up fucking somebody, too. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not opposed to it. Yeah. But I just am realistic. Like, that's not my business right now. My business right now is people in the, you know, Williamson County and, you know, some Travis County and some Bell County.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know what I mean? That's majority of my business. I got one
But you've
bike.
only been back here in Texas for 2 years, right?
Well, I've been in Texas for 2.5. The shop's been open for 1.5.
Yeah, so I mean, you've essentially had to start from ground zero and building your clientele up.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. I mean, dude, I've unfortunately been in the same spot my fucking whole life. So,
Yeah.
you know,
it's slowly getting there. I mean, I think I would rather, like, I like doing the big builds, but if I was going to get those in, I would have to start hiring people to do the service work, because I don't ever want to have a shop that doesn't offer service work.
Yeah,
Like,
It's
you
good
know,
money.
if we're going to build your bike, I also want you to be able to bring it here to get an oil change and a clutch adjustment or just full service or whatever, tires and, you know,
that
brake
kind of shit.
pads. But then I would have to hire someone. But then I got that trust issue where, like, I don't trust someone to do, you know. You get those kids that think, oh, my elbow's calibrated, I don't need a torque wrench, you know. And
Yeah, that's why they got hard case thread locker bolts and shit like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. You know, like, I've never had sprocket bolts back out on me, and you haven't.
I'm not gonna lie on a podcast. I had one set back out, and I installed them on my personal bike. It was my bike. I installed them at 3 o'clock in the morning because I broke my bike on the way into work. I don't know what I did. I think I just got my wheels from powder coating. Worked all day until probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night on customer bikes. And this was in Phoenix. This was years ago. 10, 11 o'clock, roll my bike on the lift, swap the wheels, front wheel, rear wheel, whatever else I got powder coated. Installed the bolts. Phone rang or something. I think something happened to where didn't continue working, came back and never torqued them.
Yeah.
You know, like, they were snug, but they weren't torqued. But short of that one set coming out, I've never had a set come out.
Red
Loctite,
I'll be honest too.
Follow the torque specs.
Since we're being super honest here, the day before I met you on the blue bike, I had just put that dyno back together, and I went and rode, and I went to pick up my wife from her job. We were going to go eat because that night I was going to ride out of town to do the thing. And when I got to her job, all the bolts backed out, but didn't snap off. So they were just loose.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was rolling the bike, and the bolt had came out, and the bolt caught the swing arm while I was doing, like, just walking it back. So it just stopped the wheel.
Yeah.
And I was able to get off, and I had, I usually am smart enough to put wrenches and shit. So I had a wrench, so I fucking cranked it down. And then I went back to the shop, and I was like, fuck, I was kind of worried about it. So once they back out on you once, you got a good while where you're going to really pay attention to it, but then it's always going to snap if it is going to do it once you stop paying attention to it or whatever.
Yeah.
And but no, I ended up putting it back on. I never had it happen again. And same thing with the FXR.
Yeah.
And the Dyna now, like, it's just getting it
red
Loctite.
Loctite, and use a torque wrench.
And also, like, would you argue that, like, some people don't adjust the wheel correctly, and if because Dynas they're not like sport bikes where you have the hash marks on the swing arm, so you can make sure that it's pretty tight.
I prefer not having the hash marks, because those hash marks, you're at that point you're at the mercy of
engineering,
the main, whoever made the swing arm, which most of the time it's usually pretty close. But the Dynas have that precision hole in the side of the swing arm, which is real nice. FXRs, you just measure from the center of the pivot shaft to the center of the axle. And there's no chance, like, nothing lies. There's no, like, oh, well, maybe what if the guy that welded this left a little bit of gap before he welded it, and so it's a 1/16 of an inch off, and my wheel's gonna track funny. Nope. Center of the pivot shaft, center of the axle. If that's the same from side to side, your wheel is perfectly straight with your drivetrain. Now, whether your drivetrain's straight and your engine, completely different fucking story.
But those things could cause a walk out of your bolts too if you have pressure on a rotating mass of a sprocket and having a pull, because if the wheel's caught, it's gonna.
The biggest thing that I see is that people don't use a torque wrench. They're like, oh yeah, this feels tight, this feels right. Like, how many of you ever put in that where you think that that's a good amount of torque? Like, do you if you haven't done thousands of them, how are you calibrated enough to know, like, oh yeah, that's what it's supposed to feel like? I mean, torque wrenches are designed for a reason. Engineers create torque specs for a reason. There's only a few things I've ever found in Harley's shit where I'm like, the torque specs were wrong. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, this is dumb. I found a better torque that works.
Like a compensator.
Some of the compensator stuff back in the day was not fantastic. But short of that stuff, it has a torque spec for a reason. Most people just don't want to buy a torque wrench, or they think, I don't need no stinking torque wrench. I can just do it. I've been working on bikes my whole life, and oh shit, my bolt's backed out. And
And then Fucksville.
Yeah.
You're Brad with fucking buying your fourth wheel.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, if you do it right the first time, you know, and another thing is like people get wheels powder coated and they won't chase the holes out. So they don't realize that there's still small particulate of sand from blasting that wheel buried in those threads.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't chase those holes out, and then you try and run a bolt in, and it can, it may be close, but you may be torquing it, and it may be fully compacting sand in the bottom of the hole. You know what I mean? Some of those holes are blind, and some of them aren't. They actually run into the casting. So it just, I mean, there's lots of things. But if you do it right, I've never had one come off, ever. And I mean, my Road Glide has almost 100,000 miles on it, you know, hard ass fucking miles on it.
Yeah.
You know, every other bike I've ever had, I mean, I have
had axle nuts come off though.
Same thing though. I see people, everybody is creating these ways to lock these axle cams for the baggers to come in. And I don't know, maybe they ride harder than me. I got no fucking clue, but I've had a swing arm like that. I updated my Road Glide because mine's a 99, so it came with the old style swing arm. I updated that when that swing arm broke. You know, I snapped it right over the axle. It was just weak right there. And I updated that swing arm and I torque it every single fucking time.
Yeah.
I also put anti-seize on the backside of the nut so it's spinning freely. You're not like dragging metal on metal. So you get a clean torque, which a lot of people don't think of when they're doing stuff like that. And I've never had it unadjust.
Yeah.
And I mean, that bagger's, I mean, it makes a lot of power. It'll stand up and do, I mean, I can't do this unknown fucking East Coast and shit, but it'll fucking pop a power wheelie up down the street fucking high, you know. But you know, I also torque it every fucking time, and I also clean and adjust the chain every 500 miles, you know. And so it's just one of those things. Like, I'm also not abusing it for 10,000 and being like, oh, it came unadjusted. Why did it come? Well, you didn't touch it for 10,000 miles. Like, what'd you expect, you know?
Yeah, I've learned a lot of chain maintenance whenever I was on sport bikes, you know, because you know, we used to do a lot of stretch swing arms and, you know, that big long chain that would be involved. And, you know, as soon as you do a stretch swing arm on a sport bike, the first thing you do, if you don't do anything really, is you just launch it after every corner. So that's stretching the fuck out of the chain all the time. And so, you know, you're constantly have to adjust and lube and this and that. So,
I mean, I talk people out of chain kits. Like, it's probably, it
is a maintenance thing.
It's a bad business move because I lose that income. But I'm like, listen, if you're not willing, if you don't know how to and you're not willing to lubricate your chain and adjust it or pay me to do it every 500 miles, you're going to just destroy this shit. You know what I mean? And then you get chain kits where it comes with like an aluminum sprocket and you're like, you have a 700-pound motorcycle and you're going to fucking have an aluminum sprocket. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know why people make shit like that.
I bought one.
Or 520 chains on a Harley. Like, what the fuck?
My first sprocket that I bought for my Road Glide when I converted it to chain years and years and years ago was a kit from a company that I won't mention, but they didn't even offer steel sprockets at the time for a rear drive sprocket. I went through that sprocket in, I don't know, 3 months. Completely gone, like fucking destroyed. But I mean, granted, that was when I was like learning how to even just do a wheelie. Like, I'd be so pumped to get it like an inch off the ground. I was like, fuck yeah, I just wheelied a Road Glide, you know.
But if you do the shit right, man, if you get the right kind of stuff, and one thing I like about Lindahl is that they use a lot of different materials that are hard, you know, but lightweight, as strange as that is. And I've never had any problems with his sprockets, you know.
Dude, I mean? I cannot wait to get my funds correct to where I can get some Lindahl shit on my bikes. You know, I've run his brake pads forever. I love his brake pads, you know, but I'm just trying to get it to where, you know.
Yeah, I think we're looking at wheels right now for that Sport Glide build and stuff like that, and it just sucks, man, because like that Sport Glide, like I've been going over it, right, and I do like the bike. I'm actually starting to kind of like the fairing a little bit. I'm not gonna say that it's. If it was mine, if it wasn't my friend's, it depends on what he wants to do. It's his bike, but you know, obviously we got the free reign to modify it the way we want to, but I would just throw a fucking T-Sport fairing on it and be like, yeah, that's the way this bike should have looked. But, you know, I think that for the sake of, you know, Maverick Harley helping us out with the build, or, you know, getting the bike and stuff, to help Harley out, I feel like we should leave the fairing and customize it with the fairing so that it has that Sport Glide look. But it's like, there's things about it, like, so I love the bags. I hate the short rear fender. Like, it makes it to where the tail light is damn near, you have to run that dumbass thing they got hanging off the back of it, or you're gonna have to find some other way of doing it, like maybe a license plate tail light or some shit.
Just buy the fender off the lowrider.
But the lights on the sides with the bags are in the way. You can't run those.
No, you can just run a integrated tail light.
Like in there? Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like a fucking, I know what you're talking about, yeah. And then, so there's that aspect. There's the forward controls, which are garbage. The biggest thing is the inverted front end that has single disc.
And no adjustments. I love that. Harley's like, oh, we're going to toss an inverted front end on it, but we're not going to give you any preload adjustment. We're not going to give you any compression adjustment. We're not going to give you any rebound adjustment.
Maybe we'll get lucky when they release that new Pan American bike or whatever. Then we can get that front end that has those radio.
I guarantee you it's got different steering neck bearings. It won't cross over. You know, they're going to fuck all that shit up.
It's going to be an aluminum frame and all that shit. So what do you think about those bikes, man?
I mean, I reserve judgment until I ride things.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I mean?
That's what you did with the Softail.
Yeah. So. I mean, I think it could be cool. Just like,
you looked at the pictures, though. Would you argue, would you agree or argue that, like, the way that motor looks like it's set up, it's like they're eliminating the primary, like a primary kind of...
All it is a V-Rod motor.
Is that what?
Yeah, it's a Rotax motor. I mean, it's a Rotax and Porsche made the V-Rod motor. They made the street motor. It's the same basic layout as those motors. The half of the reason the V-Rod got discontinued, besides the fact that it wasn't selling well, was the fact it was a dirty emissions motor. It wasn't going to be able to meet the requirements for 2020 for what the EPA would require new vehicles to do.
I didn't know that.
So. This one, I'm assuming they went through and cleaned up whatever they were having issues with. But it's the same. It's going to be like a one sump thing, just like a V-Rod, where it's got, everything is one. Primary.
That's the way
engine
a sport bike is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wet sump trans.
What was that bike that everybody was talking about? Like it's the FXBR or FXDR or something, but all they have is
I don't know. I mean, people get
fat-ass back tire.
So fucking gnarly in that shit. Who was that was posting that shit? Was that the Performance Harley?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm not tied into the dealerships anymore, so I don't really get the inside track as much. And
you think they're gonna release a bike this month? Do you think they're just gonna do like colorways for the existing models?
I think that they're gonna release something. Usually it was Harley used to release at Sturgis. And then all the dealerships threw a bitch fit because then the Sturgis Harley would have a shit ton of fucking sales because they're right there, and people would buy a bike in Sturgis and then go home to their dealer, and the dealer wouldn't get the sale. Yeah. So they pushed it back to like the week after. We'll see.
Should be sold another week or so.
They're coming out with the live wire.
You think that's this year? Or?
It's gonna be I think it's supposed to hit in like January, February.
Yeah, they said it was gonna be a mid-year release on some of those things, but
yeah.
I went to see Scott from Simpson today, and he was talking about how like he thinks that they're redoing a new Sportster, like in that new motor is gonna.
It's possible. The Sportster that's the longest running engine that they've unmolested.
How long? When did they start that? That's the Evo style engine they're running now, right?
So they technically changed it in 2004. They went from the rigid to the rubber. But between then and now, there hasn't been a ton of changes. You know what I mean? It's converted from the old electrical system to the new BCM system. Other than that, there hasn't been a ton of changes on that stuff. You know what I mean? There may have been some shock changes or fender mount changes and stuff like that. But as far as the engine goes, it's still very, very, very similar,
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they might. Who knows? Who fucking knows what they're doing? They're up to some weird shit up there. They're gonna probably come out with a car or some shit next month.
Well, they're coming out with bicycles. So.
Yeah. Well, all those, everybody was freaking out like, oh man, they're coming out with 100 new models. I'm like, they're coming out with a bunch of electric, like scooter style bikes. Like,
yeah, they bought that electric bike company.
Yeah.
And so they're just rebranding all that shit as Harley Davidson.
Now we'll rock an ape hanger looking Schwinn looking electric bike. I'd rock that shit just around town.
I would. So I love the live wire.
Too.
Every one of my friends that I trust their opinion on that has rode it says it's fucking incredible because, an electric motor is the perfect motor for a vehicle because all your potential torque difference is at zero throttle, you know, and then as soon as you hit the throttle, you get as your max torque. Like if you look at a torque curve for an electric motor, your highest torque peak is right off of nothing.
Yeah.
So, and then it shoots and starts going down. So, I mean, they're theoretically the perfect motor for vehicles because you have all your torque right where you need it when you're not moving. You need that highest torque peak. But the question is going to be is like, how did they, you know, number one, what's the price point? 30 grand. It's going to be it's already labeled as a CVO. It's already titled as a CVO. It's coming out in the CVO line. So, you know, it's not going to be fucking cheap. 30 grand. I mean, you'll sell a few.
Yeah.
Not a ton. I mean,
how heavy are those batteries that they?
I'm sure it's a heavy bike, but the thing is like, you can't sell a bike that expensive that if I can't jump on it and ride it to California and back without having to, you know, an issue, then that bike is not worth 30 grand in my mind, you know?
And that's one thing I was arguing, like, maybe at a fault that Harley didn't use this to exploit their motorcycles, but all their lineup has been you've been able to buy it maybe if you want to ride it to work, maybe if you want to rip around town, maybe you want to ride to the bar with the boys and with your, you know, cut off jeans t-shirts and shit. But you can ride them far too. Like, oh man, I bought this bike to ride to work, but now I'm interested in doing some long cross country riding. Oh, I can just buy a sissy bar or a set of leather bags and throw it on. But some of these other bikes don't look like they're going to be.
Well, it depends. So, you know, I think Harley could knock it out the park, but you know, the questions I have is how's it going to charge and how long does it take? Because the initial prototype models took 8 hours to charge and they went 60 miles. You can't fucking that's not feasible. So I'm assuming they've changed it. That was also 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, batteries and lithium ion has all changed with Elon Musk creating all this crazy shit for Tesla. But it's like, you know, is it only going to charge off 210 or 220? Is it going to work off 110? Is it going to work off both? Did they pay for the right to use the patent for a Tesla charger? Because that would be smart as fuck. If you could ride that bike, and especially in like major cities like San Francisco, Austin, LA, Dallas, you know, Atlanta, stuff like that, there's Tesla chargers all over. So if you could ride that bike and then charge it at a Tesla charger while you're doing whatever you're doing for whatever they charge for that shit, that's fantastic. But you know, if I gotta find a 110 outlet, then I gotta plug my bike in, and
you're running around town with a fucking like yellow fucking Home Depot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I'll go on a road trip. Let me bring my 100-foot extension cord with me so I can charge my motorcycle in my hotel room. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really it's interesting to see how they're going to integrate. Not so much that little Street Fighter bike, but just how they're going to integrate this adventure bike and this electric bike into a market they have no stake in.
Well, I think it's great that they're reaching out into markets they don't have a stake in. I think that's awesome. I mean, businesses want to progress, and I'm okay with that. And you know, this unrealistic every year we need to grow 3 to 5% shit, that doesn't happen without something to grow in. At least they're giving themselves a reason to grow. You can't do the same shit, call some new models out, and expect growth, you know, without doing something. And so they're at least reaching into a new market to justify that 3 to 5% growth. You know, we'll see. Yeah, I hope they don't go about it the same way they did this summer intern stuff. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm stoked for those people. I'm happy for them, but it's like,
we haven't seen any of it.
Who are those people? Yeah. Like, how long have they been into bikes? You know, and I get it. They're trying to attract a new crowd, but, you know.
I don't know. Like, that doesn't make sense to put new people on a bike and think that's going to attract a new crowd. Like, why not? Yeah, you know, it seems like
I just feel like those people will say whatever
because they're getting paid.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And you know, I'm not hating on them, and I'm not trying. If it comes off that way, I'm apologize to whoever. And if you interns are listening, you're doing a great job. If I was you, I'd fucking love that job too. But you know, it's whenever it's a paid something, I don't trust it. Like all these people that are sponsored, as soon as you tell me you're sponsored by a company, your opinion no longer means shit to me.
Yeah.
Because someone paid for your opinion now. They bought your opinion, so you have no opinion anymore because you've been paid. Yeah. You know, that's why, like, I won't, like...
Maybe if you got the product, you know, like someone sent it to you and you know what? Like, hey, I'm putting this on. I wrote it. Man, I dig this product. Like, there's got to be a way to cipher through that and be like, okay, well... He did it the right way. There's got to be a formula to where, you know, someone could take your opinion.
Well, the thing is, you know, this is the same way that, you know, I get calls from some companies like, hey, try our product. Send me one.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, number one, I won't, if I've never run it, or at least I haven't rode a bike with it for an extended period of time, I'm not recommending your product ever. You know? If a customer walks in and wants it, I will give them my recommendation, and then they still want to buy your product, I'll sell it to them and I'll install it, and then I can start basing an opinion at that point. But I'm not going to be like, oh, dude, this new fucking shock just came out and it's supposed to be super dope. Let's buy that. No.
Yeah.
You're going to spend your money with me. It's going to be on the shock that is proven to work, not the one that I think may work and we don't know yet because nobody's really rode it that long and all that stuff. You know. Same with exhaust.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you know, it's a weird day and age where, you know, like 15 years ago, I don't know how much, or 20 years ago, like how much we would have been able to be like, you know what, man, you're going to give it to me for free if you want me to try it out or whatever.
Well, and I'm not even saying necessarily give it to me for free. I mean, that would be the ideal way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the you know, if your product is really that good, you should be able to give it away for free to shops, to industry people. Yeah. Don't give it away to some kid. I mean, I understand what they're doing, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but in my mind, in the industry, I don't give a fuck what some kid's opinion is that has 200,000 followers, but doesn't know fucking dick from Sally and the internals of an engine. You know what I mean? And beats the fuck out of his bike all the time, and it looks like a piece of shit, and it's leaking everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But his opinion on quality is not the same opinion as my opinion on quality. You know, and
if you think about it like this, like say you're based out of California, you make a product, you find out who some of the find out who the people are in certain states or areas or high population motorcycle states that are more known in this section of motorcycles that you're in.
Whatever your product is geared at.
And then push it to those guys and be like, hey, I want you to try a product. If you like it, keep it.
Yeah.
We'd like you to sell it, but like, okay.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, give us your feedback because we want to make our product better. Like, I don't have a problem with a company creating a product that's subpar, but when I give you feedback on your product, don't bark back like it's something fucking wrong. You know,
like it's your fault.
Yeah, this is the, you installed it wrong. I'm going through some issues with that with a company who remain nameless, but I love their exhaust, but their brackets I'm having issues with on certain models, and they're acting like, no, it's something with you. I'm like, well, it's been every single one. It's not like this is just like a one type thing. No, every single one has this issue. So and I told them exactly how it happened too, because I had the original bracket and then I got their new updated bracket when that one broke. And I looked at them and I'm like, you guys made a couple of these gussets bigger without putting it on a bike, because now the gusset doesn't clear something, you know, and I have to file the gusset down to get it to clear something, you know, and I love their exhaust and I'll continue to run them, but I'll just tell people like, until they dial this exhaust bracket in, like every 5,000 miles, be prepared to bring it back in for a new one.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, you know, these companies should do it that way. I mean, if they want to, I mean, for the most part, I get it. Maybe not a fucking brand new motor or something that's super, but I guess I had Gaffler, which I'm a huge fan of Gaffler from back in Galfer or whatever, the brake rotors. I used to run them on my sport bikes, but I have a great relationship with Lindahl, right? So they reached out to me through email, which probably was just some marketer just running through a list of emails that is motorcycle related and sent me a message. But to me, like they want us to be a direct dealer for it, right? I'm not, you know, want me to start pushing your products? I don't know any of you. I'm not running it on my bikes. Yeah. You're not sending me anything. Like, I mean, just none of it really.
And that's the bottom line, is that without knowing what it is, I won't push it. I don't care how cool your fucking marketing tactics are, how many cool charts you can make, how many cool pictures you can take of your bike next to whatever. Until I've run it, I've put it in my hands, I've installed it, I've felt the quality of it, I'm not going to push it on my
I don't
customers.
see how a company of any size doesn't have the ability to sift through tons of different Instagram profiles of bike shops. I mean, you can like easily just go on like Dynamite Crew or Dynaholics and find out who's who in the motorcycle industry, at least in the Performance Harley, or even go to the Performance Harley page. You'll be able to find out who's who, and if you're a company that wants to push your products into this genre of motorcycles, then hey man, Pop's Garage, I see you run a lot of these types of things. Would you be interested in trying one of our rotors? We'd love to send you one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know anybody that's going to turn down, you know, that offer to try something out. you know?
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. And I'm not saying that I think I deserve that, because I'm a fucking small shop. I'm small potatoes. You know what I mean?
Who's doing in Texas? I mean, there's obviously tons and tons of shops, but in our scene,
yeah, but I mean, my shop ain't shit compared to shops everywhere in the fucking
but in
country.
our scene,
yeah, but it doesn't matter though. You know what I mean? Like my net
like
volume,
you said a while ago, nobody's taking their bike from Texas to Ramjet.
Well,
maybe Ramjet does some badass shit, but you know, and you know, think about it. For me, as a marketing standpoint, I would, if I sold a product such as a brake rotor or an exhaust system, even, I would push it to each, like, if I was going to look at Texas is a big state. We don't have a whole lot of performance-oriented bike shops here. No. We have a lot of people that will work on any type of bike, but they don't really specialize in the shit like you do. They really don't. I mean, I'm a huge Daryl and up in DFW. He's a great friend of mine. He's an old school guy, very talented, does a lot of nice shit. Always helps me out, but he's not really connected to our market. Yeah. You know, his market is the older. He's still on the baby boomer guys. He still has a lot of big wheel stuff, but he's doing big motors. Yeah. But it's not really on our scene.
Well, big motors isn't performance. That's That's the last step in building a bike, is putting a big motor in. Yeah. You know, if you got a bike that can't handle the motor and can't, you know, what's the point of going 130 if you got to slow down to 20 to make a turn? You know. Yeah. You know, oh look, I can go fast in a straight line. I mean, I guess between Dallas and Austin, it's fantastic. Yeah. No turns, just straight flat highway.
Dude, you remember how I've always talked about how, like, we have that one curve from, like, where my shop is to downtown Dallas? Yeah. They're getting rid of it. What? They're taking it out. They're straightening the highway because people in Dallas are so fucking horrible at driving, I guess, that one curve is too much and they just wreck around it. Like, oh my God, I'm turning, and just fucking wreck.
What that is
so they're straightening
it's
the
highway. Construction companies in Dallas going, damn, we finished all the construction projects. We can't not be in construction. Yeah. Somewhere has to be under construction somewhere in Dallas. Let's just, you know what? We're going to straighten this out.
We're going to straighten this highway out. So they're like blowing bridges up and shit. And my grandfather told me years ago, like, yeah, he watches news and shit. Like I haven't seen the news in years. He's like, yeah, they're going to straighten this out. I'm like, no fucking way. That's the one curve we have that we always just get on, you know, or to our ability at least.
That's why everybody in Dallas should just move down to Austin, come out to Cedar Park, and then we got a bunch of amazing roads within 5 minutes.
People need to move out of Austin. That's what needs to happen. This place is getting too packed.
This isn't Austin. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I tell people I'm from Austin, I'm in Austin, but technically I'm not even in the same county as Austin, and I'm on, like, the edge of that county. So, you know, it works out pretty decent.
I don't know, man. Like I was saying at the beginning of this, man, I like Austin, but, man, it's becoming the Vegas where, like, I just want to go for a couple of days and I want to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, dude, I live outside of it, 25 miles from Austin. I've been to Austin maybe 4 times this year.
You do have riding here, you know, but I'll one up you on the riding, and I got people that I look forward to hanging out with every day. We don't even ride. We just go hang out and talk. Yeah. And that, to me, it's like, that's good enough.
I got a couple buddies out here. You know what I mean? I got some really good customers that have become really good friends, and, you know, they'll stop by every once in a while and stuff like that. Yeah. But we don't have anything like the DFW Dyna page and the Anvil 8 and all that stuff. We don't have any of that kind of stuff out here. But the nice thing is like, if I don't have my kid, I can wake up 2 hours early and go smash 1431.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1431 is definitely one of the nicest roads to hit in Texas.
It's one of those roads that it's not super, super technical. It's not like, you know, 20 miles an hour is pushing it through a turn. You know what I mean? Like, it's sketchy. You know, the turns are more like, you know, 95 to 100 mile an hour turns. But
if you're you, I'm doing them like 45, 50. No, you know what scares the hell out of me on those? I don't ride it as much as you, obviously. But it's the terrain up and down, the level changes.
That's the biggest thing is when you're there are a couple of them where, like, you could be coming in pretty hot, and then all of a sudden, you know, that was the turn that we thought that Mike had gone down on. It ended up not being that turn, but there was one turn we were out there in Arkansas riding, and we were blasting, and I mean, it's a straightaway down a hill and up a hill, and we're doing, you know, 110 miles an hour. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's a decreasing radius downhill turn at the top of the hill, and it was sketchy. Mm-hmm. Everybody was like, holy fuck, that turn was like, that was the one turn that we're like, man, that's going to get someone. they didn't make it to that turn, but like that was where we thought it had happened at first. When I first heard that Mike had gone down.
Dude,
like, fuck.
decel, like, what is it? Downhill cornering scares the fuck out of me.
It's different. It's not something. I mean, you got to work. It's one of those things you got to work on. You know, it's not as you got to know where you can accelerate, where you can decelerate, how to load up your tires for the turn and stuff like that. And
that's scary to me though. Like, I mean, obviously I grew up in Dallas, so it's flat. You know, you got to go a ways to get a hill. But you know, like hell, even when we go out to Cali, we go through the mountains in Colorado and all that stuff. It's like they're fun, man. They really are. But you know, dude, I like the Sturgis.
One place I want to go next year.
We're riding through there.
I want to go to Cali next year. I want to meet Joe out there and go check out his part. Like I want to go to where he's from and listen. You know, he's told all these stories from the couple times, 3 or 4 times we hung out. Like I want to see all those places. I want to go through Lodi. I want to go to Stockton. I want to go check out all this stuff. I want to see that. I want to go hit all these crazy roads because I mean I've been to Cali a few times. Like I worked out there a little bit when I was in MMI. We did some club promotions for like Crest and Ladue and stuff like, or whatever the fuck those fucking clubs are called downtown. Some just like small little shit. Yeah. I've only been out there on a bike maybe twice, you know, and one of the times, like no one was riding with me. I got fucking stranded at some chick's house in the middle of nowhere, and my buddy left with my helmet in his truck, and I knew it was a helmet state, so I was like, fuck. So I went and bought like a little kid's bicycle helmet and rode my bike home with that, just hoping that a cop wouldn't pull you over. But every time I've been out there, the cops were like super cool. Like I can't tell you how many CHP officers I blew past at 100 miles an hour that didn't even flash their lights. They're like, I'm not even wasting my time chasing this guy. You know what I mean? Like they'll wait for the minivan that's doing 10 over and pull that dude over instead.
Just get that guy.
But yeah, I want to go check out all those crazy fucking, all these videos you see of all these dudes on these crazy like Mulholland and Angel Crest and all that stuff. I want to go see the shops, the companies that I buy their products. I want to go check out Thrash and Supply and Bassani and all these other companies that I like push their products, on people. I want to go check that shit out, and
dude, there's a lot of, I mean, fuck that. Like when I go hang out with, Silent G over there at Valley Customs, he's like in the Valley area, and man, like 10 miles away, you're like, there's like a little mountain range there, and you cut just the roads that are cutting from one valley to the next is like nice.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go see places like that. I want to go check out Dream Ride John's. I've never met the guy in my life. We've had a couple communications back and forth through like social media messaging and shit. He seems like super dope. Like off, we had that camp out and he put it out there. He's like, hey dude, if you fly out here, I'll let you ride one of my bikes. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, I just couldn't swing it. But like, who fucking does that for someone they don't know? You know what I mean? The dude doesn't know me. He's never met me before, but he made that offer, and that's like super stand up, and like I want to go check his shit out now and go see what his shop's about. And
so like next spring, so we're building this Sport Glide for doing a trip out to Cali next year, right? So we're gonna do a long route, maybe 12 days. I think we're trying to push 12 days for the trip. But I think we're, in my head, I haven't really told anybody about this, but if this camp out that we do here goes well, the idea is to set up like a series of camp outs. And that's a series, I'm talking like maybe 3 or 4 spread out across the United States over the course of the year next year. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking, man, come spring, because we're planning on doing this around late April. Okay. That basically we might be able to set up something up in NorCal area, and basically we'll do a ride up there. We'll get there on that following weekend, and we'll do a 2-day camp out in NorCal with everybody, and then we'll continue on our trip down south.
I don't know if it's still there, but my kid's like 3rd birthday or 2nd birthday, we went to San Diego, and there's this place called Campland on the Bay. It's like $10 for a primitive camping spot on a bay on the ocean. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Throw all the bikes up there, and you're like, it's like minutes away from like Mission Beach and all that. Like the
San Diego's just out of the fucking way.
Yeah, dude. But
when you're doing a loop,
you do it north. You go all the way down to San Diego, hit Tijuana, and then blast back through Phoenix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's just I know more people in NorCal that would probably, and we have a lot of listeners of the podcast up there.
Yeah,
so
I would be very interested to go.
And there's
I want to go farther north though. Like I want to Sacramento's like really like halfway up California.
Yeah,
it's more like middle Cal, and then like NorCal is like even higher up. But
But no, there's, I don't know. I think it'd be cool. If it all works out, awesome. If it doesn't, we're still going out there. We're still camping everywhere. We're still doing all this.
Yeah.
What I really want to find out, because I want to ride back through White Sands. And, being there this year when me and my wife drove, it's so vast and flat and it's kind of tucked in some mountains kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to say, can you just camp out there? Like, fuck it.
I don't know. What state's in it?
It's in Utah.
I don't know.
I think Utah's like open camping.
Well, I mean, that's one of the issues. I had that discussion with my drag rep the other day. Talking about how like dirt bikes are so popular in like California and Arizona and stuff, but it's because there's so much public land out there. Texas is 98% private owned. Like, you can't just pull off on the highway and go ride a dirt bike through that field you see over there, because some dude owns it and he can literally shoot you for being on his property in Texas. Like, that's legal. If you're on my property, I can shoot you dead and I don't even go to jail, And so, like out there, people can, when I lived in Arizona, we'd drive a little bit north on I-17, pull off the road, go half a mile off of I-17, and then open the fucking back and shoot guns all fucking day long. Just out in the middle of nowhere, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't have to get a permit, you didn't have to go to a shooting range. You do that. People do that off-roading. You can go off-roading anywhere. Dirt bikes, four-wheelers, fucking Jeeps, all that shit.
I could be wrong because I haven't done a lot of research in this, but I want to say that Utah and Arizona had, like, since there is a lot of public land or whatever the case is, that you can kind of just pop a tent anywhere as long as it's not.
Arizona, you can for sure if you wanted to,
But so, like I said, with White Sands being what it is, like, so, and you could see, like, when I was there, you could see where people set up little campfires and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, fuck it. I think that'd be dope as fuck to just camp out there. Like, be there at night. The stars are fucking retarded,
Yeah. You got to bring a fucking tripod next time we go on a night ride, though.
We were trying to do the stars.
We were out there for 20 minutes with our iPhones, like, trying to take a picture of the stars. But I hold it against my fairing and see if it'll work better and take better pictures. No.
But yeah, that's I don't know, man. But the biggest thing is, like I said, we're gonna try to do a lot of video and stuff for that trip. So
I'm pumped to see what you guys do with that.
Yeah, that's the kind of goal, is to get a lot of video, make an actual, like, small little series, about it and stuff. And hell, even if it's not something that we edit ourselves, but we just capture as much of it as we can with ourselves.
And then pay someone to edit it.
And then pay someone to edit it and just kind of come and sit in. I think it'll be worth it.
I've thought about doing that before. I was talking with that what's his name? Chase Isn't Cool guy. I was like, just asking, like, it's one of those things, like, I really don't like asking people questions like, how'd you do that? And then I kind of got a hair up my ass, like, in Arkansas. I was like, I kind of want to record some of this and see, you know what I mean, what I can do. And he was like, why don't you just record it and then have Connor fucking edit it? You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't know, dude. And then I just lost, it wasn't that I lost interest. It's just I ran out of time to look into all that shit. But it's like fucking super involved, how to record that, how to get the best exposure, how many frames per second.
You've seen those bikes like what Unknown would have, that have that one bike that's just got like 40 GoPros all over it. Mm-hmm. I think whoever goes on our trip next year that just doesn't have a cool looking bike, their bike's going to be the camera bike. We're just going to make all these contraptions and then, make him just kind of record all of us cool guys on our bikes. And
that'd be cool. I'm going to try. If y'all are going to do that,
hopefully every bike that goes is going to be custom.
I'm going to try. I'll try and make that. I'll start saving now. Do the ride fund. You said early spring, April.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm thinking late April, because it's going to, it's still kind of chilly in the deserts and stuff. I mean, obviously you've been out there, but it's not quite May and June heat that we ran into, going to Born Free last year and shit like that. Yeah, that's not fun. And then when you're camping, you don't want to be sweating your balls off.
Yeah, you can't get comfortable. Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I'm gonna try to make that shit as fun. And I think I talked about this before, but I become when I do these trips, I've done them a lot, so I've seen all this shit, but it's almost like exciting taking somebody else to see it and seeing how they enjoy it or their reaction or whatever.
And every time you go, number one, have you done the trip twice on the same bike?
The only trip I've done it on my bagger twice, but that was all major highway shit though.
Yeah, but I'm saying since you started doing the other stuff, you haven't ever taken the same bike twice. And every time you go, even if you take the same bike, if you go with different people, it creates a different experience. Yeah, exactly. Because, like, if you go, like, I'm just throwing out names, like, if you rode with Danger Dan, there's only a certain speed you can go and stay together. So it's going to create a different thing. Whereas if you go with someone else, that rides a different pace, it's going to create a different feel. You know, like when we rode through the mountains in Arizona, like I didn't see half of the shit that we were fucking driving past. Like I couldn't focus on anything except that turn that was coming.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's the thing. So I mean, I think it'll be fun. And then, me and my wife, man, I think we're gonna try, and that's why I have to do it in April, because we're gonna try to do like just take off a month or two, just to which I don't know how the fuck it's gonna happen, but we'll see how other things. I might still have to paint, but with it being so fucking hot in Texas, and it'd just be easier if we can just like leave for a month and go. Maybe my buddy's out of jail up in NorCal. Maybe we can run up to NorCal for a month and knock out some bikes, and then spend a month just fucking off, and then go to Sturgis, and then come home and start being responsible adults again or something.
That'd be cool.
I don't know. Next year's gonna be a wild one. So
yeah,
for sure. So I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I just need to get past this year, and I need to get some money saved up. And my whole goal this year was not to build any bikes, but we did the Bagger, which wasn't that much money compared to the FXR. This Dyna is literally just shit I had laying around the shop. I think we got cams and maintenance items from you, new tires, all that type of shit.
Yeah.
A couple powder coat. It wasn't nothing major. So I think I'm in the bike like $5,500, including the cost of the bike. So
yeah,
it's gonna be for sale soon. So if any of you guys need a $9,000 bike,
did I say $5,500? I meant $10,000.
Yeah,
$10,000. I'm taking a $500 loss.
I'm gonna take a loss on it. Yeah. No, but I don't know, man. But yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. It's an 01 lowrider. It's fucking feels great, and with all the stuff that I did to it, man, I don't know. I think I can get probably 75.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. If they don't sell for 75, I'll just take all the shit back off of it and put it on the other FXR I'm about to pick up, and then put stock shit back on this and sell it for 55. Well, I know I'll get that, and then be done with it. Cammed out, exhaust up, fucking Dyna with a paint job and a fairing and bars. It's definitely gonna sell.
I want to pick up an early Dyna.
Dude, I like riding that bike, man. I dig it.
Dyna is the second. I'm sure you'll get a shit ton of shit for the statement, but Dyna's the second worst handling chassis that Harley's ever made.
I'm not good enough to even ride.
But they're fun. Those bikes are fun. You know what I mean? It's not as stable as an FXR or like a Rigid Mount Sporty or a Bagger or these new Softails, but you know what? They're fun and they're light, and like sometimes it's nice. Like I'll ride customers. Like my bikes are usually like, let's get gnarly and
I jump on your like when we just went to dinner. I rode your Softail, and it feels good, but it's so foreign to me that, or maybe because it handles so well, and I'm used to it not handling well. The great handling that it has is actually bad handling for me. If that makes any sense.
You're used to it, like you're used to a wobble or a wiggle, and it doesn't do that, and you're like trying to anticipate that, and then it doesn't do it, and you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I don't hit corners hard enough to outride a Dyna or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, it's just fun to ride because it's
say that you can't make a Dyna handle good.
Yeah.
It's just like from the factory. Just look at the engineering of it.
Yeah, the engineering's crap.
It's terrible. Retarded.
But this Dyna though is awesome, so you should think about buying it.
Like I said, but I'll go ride. Like I have a really good friend and customer, and he's got a 04 Dyna lowrider, I think, and bought it brand new, and like it's nothing crazy, but it's got Race Tech front suspension, Legends rear suspension, Saddleman seat, Lucky Dave's bars, Bassani exhaust, intake, like nothing crazy, like very basic stuff, but it's just fun.
They're lighter.
Well, it's just a fun bike. It's not like I know the bike's not going to do things, and so my expectations aren't high, and so it creates a more fun level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I ride other bikes, when I ride my bikes, my expectation level is so high on how the bike has to perform that even if it's doing fucking better than it was at this other thing, my expectation was higher, and so I'm not as thrilled.
Yeah.
But on that bike, my expectations, are fucking next to nothing. So it's just fun,
I don't know, man. Like I think I've been using it to commute back and forth, and then of course to actually go to bike nights without Ubering and stuff like that. So it's just easy, man. It's simple. It's clean. It's like I can lane split a lot easier. I don't do it a lot, but being in downtown Dallas now, if I ever come home early and got to go north, then it's like solid traffic. I'm like, fuck this. I went and bought this zoom camera to start we're gearing up to start doing like a video podcast in some aspects and stuff. So I went and bought this camera. So one day I left the shop early, got home, and it's like 5:30 in the afternoon, major rush hour, and the Guitar Center is like in North Dallas. So I'm like, fuck it, I want to go up there. This was Monday. I want to go up there and get this camera. I'm gonna go eat and then I'm gonna come home. As soon as I got on the highway, solid traffic, but I just lane split it, man. It's just easy to rip around, go hit this, hit that. I mean, I couldn't do that shit on that back here, you know.
It's so sketchy though to do it in Texas because some people are assholes, man.
Who said it? Like, were you with me when that guy goes? It's so funny how cars, they laugh at us when it's raining, they laugh at us when it's cold, they laugh at us when it's hot, but then they're mad at us when we get to lane split.
Yeah. No, for sure. Every fucking person that sees a guy on a bike when it's cold or hot or raining, they're like, oh, look at that fucking idiot. But then when we get to use the fucking motorcycle to like get from point A to point B quicker,
yeah,
you know,
we're the
like,
assholes.
Yeah, that dude's a fucking piece of shit.
I'm gonna cut him off. I'm gonna make sure he can't
I want him to be as miserable as me because my life sucks, and I want everybody to hate their life as much as I hate mine, you know. But that's what happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People can't stand seeing other people do things differently than them and potentially make life easier for them or whatever's going on, you know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird as hell.
Got to adjust some volumes when the dog starts licking shit.
Well, shit, man, we're about an hour and 22 in, so I'm gonna probably shut it down so I can get home. It's late.
What time is it? Oh, it is midnight.
Yeah, I got a 2.5 hour drive home. Got to go to work in the morning, so I took all day off.
I mean, you can just chill here, hang out with all this pussy I got in the house. You know?
I don't know, man. That's pretty tempting.
It's like fresh pussy.
It's fresh pussy, yeah, for sure. So,
well, let's plug this camp out again one last time.
Oh, the camp out, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm super pumped on this camp out. I cannot wait.
We're still working out details with Adam and his camp out, but it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be anything to worry about it. I've had a lot of people hitting me up saying like, "Hey, should we reserve a spot?" And basically, if you want to come to the camp out and you want to reserve a cabin or a RV spot, then yes, you need to call ahead and get that. So what we're gonna be having is basically an area that we're all gonna camp in, and it's
like
just
a primitive camping.
Like a primitive camping. And I mean, it's going to be okay if you bring a truck or a van or some shit like that, but it's just going to be a big open area that we're going to camp in and try to consolidate our party into one area. Not because we can camp wherever, but because the concept of this camp out is not to, I don't want everybody to click up in their corners. I want everybody to be together, meet people. We'll start walking around and sharing beer and saying, "Hey, I follow you on Instagram. I follow you too. Fuck yeah." And then, I want people to meet people and have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want it to be like the group that came from this city is all over here and they don't want any, they're fucking mean mugging everybody over there and we're Billy Badass and blah, blah, blah.
And if you guys know girls, bring them.
Yeah.
Just be fair. I mean, look, if you know some sluts, and bring. Not for me. I'm bringing my wife, but
for homies,
for the homies, you know, like it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, right? But no, the camp out, I'm expecting it to be good. I've had a lot of people reach out from quite a ways away, from here. Like fuck, man, like them guys saying, "Dude, we're coming," or "We're down," or "We're making arrangements to come." It makes me really want to make sure that it's worth their trip.
Yeah.
So, and realistically, it's not a show. It's not this. It's kind of like what the FXR Jam is. It's just us hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. There's no vendors. No one's trying to sell you anything. It's not going to be.
But there is good riding.
There's going to be fun riding and fun people, and that's the point. It's just not limited to FXRs only.
And I mean, who knows? I mean, like I said, it could branch out into a lot of different things that we're kind of open-minded to, but realistically, I never want it to be anything more than just a good time that's not going to cost you a lot of money.
We're not making money.
Yeah, making money.
There's no money. We're not taking a cut. There's not any of that stuff.
Yeah.
We're not making any money. Right now, our plan, I think, tentatively, is to leave Thursday night, head to Dallas, stay the night somewhere in Dallas, and then ride up with you. It kind of just depends on if I get anybody from San Antonio, Austin, Houston area that wants to meet here and ride up Thursday night with me, kind of where we're gonna stay at that point. You know what I mean?
Dallas is accommodating, so there's plenty of us up there to kind of.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I figured between everybody out there, someone will have a yard. We can, we're all gonna have tents at some, camping. So,
but no, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I'm excited about it. I hope a lot of people come. I hope people make the effort to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing. It's like, I think that if people just give it a chance, they're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what the consolation is? I'm going to have a good time regardless. So
that's the bottom line is that no matter what happens, I'm going to have a fucking great weekend.
Yeah.
If it was just 7 of us, 10 of us.
Dude, it was 10 of us when me and the Anvil 8 went up there.
Yeah.
We call ourselves the Anvil 8, but there's like 12 of us and shit. It makes no fucking sense. But, the whole concept, man, is just like we're all having a good time. But it would just be fun if there was like 700 of us. And there's not going to be that much. But if there was 40, 50, or 60 or 70 of us.
The more people, the better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, don't bring a fucking shitty attitude. Don't bring a fucking ego. Don't bring I'm fucking better than you guys because I am blah, blah, blah.
And if you got a 6-pack, stay home.
Yeah.
Of like abs, because I'm going to have my shirt off. And
we
I
got dad
have
bods here, okay? We're rocking dad. This is a dad bod weekend. If you got a 6-pack, you got to leave your shirt on.
Yeah, you cannot.
If
my
you got
wife cannot
nice
see
tan lines, stuff like that, nope, shirt on.
I'm not
this
trying
is
to chase my wife
pale
around.
white dad bod, no shirts.
I think my wife's like kind of man crushing on like what's that dude that plays Aquaman right now? That
you're asking wrong.
Oh shit, you're not a comic book guy like me.
No.
Yeah, I see every time like he comes on TV or something, I see her just kind of like pay attention. And shit. I'm like, all right, I see what you're into. I'm bald and fat, and he's fit and got long hair. And he's kind of got a little ethnic.
He's worth millions.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah,
I want to see as many people as we can out there.
Yeah, I hope. I'm praying for the Texas folks, the Austin, San
and if
Antonio,
you're coming
Houston.
from anywhere that's not like on, obviously we're all coming from south to north.
Yeah.
If you're coming from north to south or east to west or west to east, set up something, dude. Like throw up an invite. Like, hey guys, we're going. We're leaving here at this time. If you want to come, be here. Like, I'm not saying you have to like change your plans for people. Tell people like, hey, you got to pay, get your own way if you're doing 2 days out. If you're coming from that far out or whatever, get your own motels and shit. But we're leaving. Be here at this time, and we'll all ride out. Try and make it as inviting to people that want to ride their fucking Harleys as
and just
possible.
hang and meet people and hang out and shit.
Be prepared to smash fucking some miles once we get out there too. Like.
Yeah, I
want to push some people through that Talamina Highway.
So I think that we're gonna have like obviously you do whatever the fuck you want to do, but I want to go ride the highway, but I don't know if I want to go ride it at your Sonic the Hedgehog speed. I might let you go ride with the.
Well, the thing like the great thing about riding in a group like that is you don't have to. Yeah. Like if you ride with enough people, it's not like if there's 3 of us, you're kind of forced to like keep up at to some degree. If there's 40 people. You just let people pass you. If you want to go slower and you can see some guys riding your ass the whole time, wave him by so you know that he knows you're cool with it. Let him go ride with the fast people. And the thing I tell people is when we ride, I won't make a turn without people there. You know, so don't worry about it. Don't if you want to push yourself in a safe way. Don't like if your skill level is at a 4, don't try and push yourself to a 10. Yeah, but. You'll never get better without that little bit of pressure from someone else or something else pushing you to do that. But, ride at your skill level,
I think the price, I think we're going to, it's really up in the air right now. We're still trying to work out the details with the K River Campground, Adam and all them up there. But I think at the low end, it's going to be about $7 per night per person to a high end $15 per night per person. It's going to be in there. And if that's going to be a problem for you, $30 tops for 2 nights. Or if you show up Wednesday and you want to stay 3 nights, I don't know. But maybe you shouldn't be on Harleys doing this kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is that's way cheaper than any motel you're going to get.
So our concept is, like, there's obviously food around there. There's a gas station. There's beer. There's all this stuff. It's not a bar.
Someone will be in a truck and have a cooler so you can bring shit back to the campground and keep it cool. You know what I mean? At some point, just
gonna be there.
Chip in for ice on. You know what I mean? It's like it's a community thing. It's not like I got this. Don't use my shit. Like no. Like
I don't see many people going over $100
No.
You know, maybe if you're coming from far away and you got to spend more in gas, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like being there, paying for the camp out, the ride that we're going to try to do on Saturday, or even just the fucking off we're doing on
Pretty
Friday.
sure there's not like a crazy steakhouse you can eat at.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's pretty primitive. Like, and the only reason I'm saying, if you know chicks that are, you know, loose and down to party, there's not a lot of women in this area. Which there's also not a lot of cops. So I think that goes hand in hand how that works. Like, it's real backwoods. You know, no cops around, and I think it's because there's no women. So there's nothing crazy happening out there. You know,
it's very possible.
You know,
very
we went
possible.
to it's really close to a town called Antlers, which had some really nice people in it, but they're not hot chicks, I guess.
You know, if you're a hot chick and you like dad bods, this is the weekend
Yeah.
for you to come out with everybody
Should be a lot of shirtless males walking around and having a good time.
that all own Harleys that you can ride on the back of.
There you go,
know, and all at least have enough money to afford a Harley. You know?
I just want it to be like just some fun shit. Like, I hope some chicks get drunk and pull their tits out. You know what I mean? That's the kind of shit. That's what Harley bike events are supposed to be about. You know what I mean? Don't bring your fucking kids. You know, don't do that shit. This is a fun time. I'm not saying it needs to get like, I don't know. If you want to bring some mushrooms and start, you know, expanding your mind, totally do that. I would probably leave the meth at the door if you're that hardcore. You know, let's keep it all recreational drugs, not like professional drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, like just beer and having a good time, meeting people, taking lots of pictures, and hopefully, you know, hashtagging Fast Life Campout 2018 or some crazy shit.
The biggest issue that I always have with any event or anything I go to is I always end up having so much fun I forget to take any pictures.
Yeah, that's
I'm like
true.
so focused on talking to people and like so focused on having like whatever we're doing, it like never crosses my mind. And then that ride home, I'm sitting there like, I took 2 pictures that whole weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this was one of the most fun weekends I've had in months. I got 2 pictures to remember.
Surprisingly, the whole time, like I have shit service at my shop. Like, I got 2 bars.
Yeah.
I have Sprint, right? I'm at this campground. I got fucking LTE, 4 bars. I can do anything.
So we're all Wi-Fiing off you. You're gonna
I guess we'll be hotspotting off my shit or whatever. But no, I'm excited, man. I'm really. I think I gotta make a run to California before I go, or before the camp out, and hopefully we're gonna hash out the rest of the details so that it can be confirmed. And then we're gonna start blasting some like, you know, Instagram flyers and shit like that. Hopefully you guys, if you're gonna go, man, share it. Let people know.
Yeah.
Bring a crowd with you.
Don't just go. Like, I mean, if you're going, like I said, put out a post, tag everyone in it, put out a post. That way, you know, if you're gonna go and you're meeting up, you know, maybe you only got 100 people following you, but if you tag the Fast Life Garage and you're like, hey, I'm meeting here, he can repost it so that people that are following him that are interested in going can see that you're leaving at this time and meeting up here, and you can maybe ride with some people that you didn't know that were right around the corner from you, but for whatever reasons your paths never crossed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what this stuff's all about. It's meeting other people that are like-minded in the Harley-Davidson industry that want to ride their motorcycles.
And a big
You know
reason
what I mean?
why we're doing it Friday and Saturday, right, is because I know how I am when I get into a deep conversation with somebody, and 4 hours can pass by and I spent time
Like
with
that.
one person.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, and you're like, fuck, man, like I wanted to meet these guys too and this guy. So it's like, by making it 2 full days of shit to do, like you have to be ready to go hard as fuck if you're a drinker both nights, right?
Or you can be sober like me and be totally good.
There's totally going to be a sober area, I think. I don't know.
Is Mike going?
Yeah, Mike's going.
Okay, so me and Mike will be sober.
Yeah.
We'll be the
It'll be like
parents
all
again.
the Fast Life podcast all stars will be there. But you know, like, it should be fun and you know, but yeah, that's why I wanted to have it 2 days, because, you know, say you got too drunk the first night, you know, like I did for Texas Hills this year. I got way too drunk the first night.
Yeah.
Second night I'm just going home.
Yeah.
Don't go home on ours, but you know, just be ready to meet people and expand it, man. Hopefully I meet some people from Kansas, from Missouri, some more people from Arkansas and even Oklahoma, that like they can be like, hey man, we're all doing a little camp out here, we're doing a party here, you want to ride up? Fuck yeah, I want to ride up. I want to go other places than just Austin and Houston.
Yeah.
In California, you know what I mean?
I can't wait to go visit. You know, I met this dude named Amos, and he's in Taos, New Mexico. I can't wait until I can take a trip out there to Taos and go check out where he lives, because he was telling me about it. It looks gorgeous, supposedly. You know,
dude, when me and my wife drove out there to California a couple months ago, like we stopped in Taos because we kind of slept at a gas station at like one of the first towns you come into on 40 going into New Mexico, and then from there we went north and hit Las Vegas, New Mexico, and then it goes up through Taos and everything. We stopped at this like little fucking breakfast place. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I took the biggest shit there. It was like one of those like
That's awesome.
it was just like the ones where you like it had a really like secluded bathroom that nobody else could come in. It was like a real single staller, you know. And just all the privacy and freedom, and just let it all out, and it was great. You know, I had a really great time.
Had a really great bowel movement at this restaurant. It was fantastic.
And then walked out and left, and Taos, New Mexico.
One of those shits where like when you're done, you tighten your belt one notch tighter. You're like, oh look, I can get to the next notch. We're good.
It was just a release.
Yeah.
Like it was just a lot.
That's awesome. That's exactly what everybody wants to know about is your bowel movements.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes you just, dude.
I'm sure someone's getting off on it right now.
I don't know if they're getting off on it. That's awkward.
I don't know, man. There's some freaks out there. Freak leaks.
All right, man. Anything coming up for you other than maybe hot bike tour?
Yeah, I mean the camp out, the hot bike tour. I mean those are the things that we're gonna try and do. We're gonna be at Southern Throwdown again this year, September 30th. It's up in Dallas Fort Worth for anybody that doesn't know. I don't think we're gonna have a booth or anything, but we're gonna ride up and hang out for the day and stuff like that. Maybe try and turn it into an overnight trip.
Dude, I'd love to try.
If someone can put us up out there.
If the weather's right, it'd be dope to do a little pool party at my house right then.
Dude,
I live right
we should do it the night before. Saturday night, do the pool party, and then wake up Sunday and just roll in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That might be pretty dope.
That would be dope.
We'll see what happens.
But yeah, I mean, keep an eye out for that. September 30th is the Southern Throwdown, so we'll be headed to that. Lone Star's coming up in the air, whether or not we'll make it. Never been.
Yeah.
So I mean, we may try and go down.
I think Simpson's trying to set up this year for Lone Star.
Yeah.
So he said he'll let me know where they decide to be, and see if we can work together or whatever. But Simpson wants to try to do some new shit next year, try to reach out to some different venues and events, and kind of branch out, I guess is the word. So yeah, should be good.
Other than that, I mean, I think we're talking about maybe doing a meetup at the shop at some point in the next couple months. Have everybody come out to the shop, grab some food, like a lunch type thing, and then afterwards go hit some of the hill country that's on the north side. Not the Twisted Sisters and stuff that's down south, but 1431, maybe Lime Creek Road, maybe Cow Creek Road, maybe some of these back roads out here.
Some of me and the homies up in Dallas, we were talking about maybe in the October, November month of doing like a Big Bend kind of camping trip.
Yeah. I would be. That's one thing I definitely want to do. I want to check out the low light pollution out there at Big Bend. I think that stuff's tight. I want to see that for sure. But I've also heard it's better to camp outside of the national park. Like camp before you get there, and then just ride in, do all your riding in there, and then leave and stay outside of the park. But
yeah, so I think we were thinking of something around there. Maybe blast down from Dallas and come down here to your place and just crash here or something on a Thursday night. Yeah. And then blast out there Friday, ride there all day Saturday, and then you can make it home in one day on Sunday. So just like our camp out,
Yeah.
Trying to make a lot more cooler, funner events that are just 3 days.
Yeah.
Or like 2 days, or just taking a Friday off, but maybe leaving as early as you can Thursday to get to a good place.
Or you could leave Friday, you know what I mean? You could take Friday off and get there, or you can leave Friday after work or cut out a half day of work or whatever. Friday, get there in time for Friday night, and then have all day Saturday to ride and hang out, and then Sunday do whatever. But
yeah, that's the plan. Lot more camping trips coming up, that's for sure. A lot more easy things to do for guys. Like I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to find other people to start doing things to where shit's just cheaper, man. Like it's easier, it's cheaper. It's not like some fucking dick swinging contest of who's got the best in this. It's just, man, let's just party. Let's just drink beer.
Yeah.
Let's or not. Let's just have fun. Let's just hang out.
Exactly. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that'll be the key.
Well, shit. That'll work. I'm headed back to Dallas now.
There you go. Peace out.
All right, buddy. How'd you guys like that? Man, we get a little bit slow. I think rolling up off the, getting to his house. It was a little slow getting into it, but we did what we had to do, and we brought you a little bit more content. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Mark at TexasPerformanceMC.com as well as on Instagram. My guys over there at Paint Huffer Metal Flake on IG, as well as painthuffer.com, horsepowerinc.net, Horsepower Inc. on Instagram, and Horsepower Inc. Indy on Facebook. Check those guys out as well. And don't forget to get dialed in with hdtwin.com, hard drive parts on IG, and check out everything they're doing. And don't forget about us. Don't forget about myself, Jace, Fast Life Jace on Instagram. Also, our website, fastlifegarage.com. You can get a link to everything, as I say all the damn time. I'm sorry. But hope you guys enjoyed this. I got Scott from Simpson coming on next. We'll be dropping that on Monday. So since it's rainy, if you're a Dallas or a Texas listener, I just figured I'd drop this one now so you'd have something to kind of listen to while you watch the raindrops hit your windows in the up in the Midwest here. You know what I'm saying? So at any rate, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I also hope that you have a dope week. And I hope that you continue to listen to podcasts and share the podcast. Move it to your friends and family and your wife and your kids and let them know that they need to listen to them too, you know. All right. You don't have to, but hey, thank you guys for checking us out. For real, have a good week. Holler at your boy.